Hello everyone, this video is on animal communication, just a brief video on animal communication. If we want to connect with other beings, we do so through the heart space, and we do so through a meditative state. And so if we're silent, we silence our minds, we take a moment to pause. And personally, the way I connect with other beings that are not human is I look into the eyes of my animals and then I go into a meditative state. So in meditation, we have sometimes objects. The object can be our breath, the object can be some sounds, it can be some guidance, or it could be a mantra that in between any passing thoughts we return back to. In animal communication, we return back to, well, I return back to the eyes of the animal, and I have a love of animals. So when I look into the eyes of an animal, my heart space opens. I also recognize the consciousness of the animal is the same consciousness behind my own eyes, and it's the same consciousness that is behind all eyes. And so from a highly unified perspective, we're connecting to ourself. At a little bit of a more refined, lower level perspective, there is some difference. So it can be snake consciousness, or it can be cat consciousness, or it can be frog consciousness. And that's a slightly different vibration. And so you might need to have a little bit of fine tuning to connect, to sync up with the consciousness of the animal. And so when I'm communicating with snakes, their vibration is so powerful that it can cause a lot of activity in my prefrontal cortex. It is primarily a non-verbal transmission with snakes, although sometimes I've occasionally got some sounds or downloads that are not non-verbal, but that's quite rare. It's just that they kind of impress upon you. So it feels like you're in the nuclear core of the universe. You kind of get squashed, and in that squashing, you get an upgrade, which is really interesting. And so it's like a really deep meditation. It's like you've transcended, you've entered a fourth state of consciousness, and the physiology has been upgraded. So it's very healing to be around snakes, and that's why they're worshipped. And Florence, each snake has a slightly different vibration. Florence has a very healing vibration. She's more heart space opening. My other snake, Pendragon, that I am with today, he's more intense and thought stopping and obliterating of everything. And so if you're sensitive, you'll notice. You might notice on a subtle level, even though you're not practicing animal communication, you might notice, oh, I sense that Florence is very loving. I sense that Florence is very healing. Even though you might not be having some activity, celestial activity, or activity in your prefrontal cortex, you might just intuit that Florence is very healing. And that's an inner knowing. And that's a way you can communicate. Doesn't have to be something profound and intense. It can be, but it can be just be like, oh, she looks so sweet. And that's a form of knowing and communication. I mean, look at her. She's so sweet. She's just like adorable. And she changes color depending on her mood. Oh, she likes the camera. She's saying hi with her little black tongue. She is a bit peachy today because she's out in the park. Aren't you? You're so cute. And who would have thought that snakes are cute? But she is. And she will never bite unless she mistakes you for food. And she's very, very relaxed. She doesn't like squeeze too much. Some snakes squeeze a lot, but she doesn't. So if you look at Florence, you might feel certain feelings, be inspired, be intrigued. Notice how you feel after the video ends. Gentle creatures. Snakes are so gentle, so elegant. And she's also shiny. She has a beautiful shiny underside. I don't know whether you can see in the light. Maybe you can. Do you want to show off? Oh, yes, show off. Show off your sexy underbelly. Wow, what a stunner. And she's having a great time because she's so pinky now, like a peachy pink. So I'm going to let her slither around in the park, and you might see her on other videos hanging out while I channel different insights.